Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for all you fine people for your Sunday, July the 23rd. There wasn't a news video yesterday because it's July. Not much happening, but stuff happening today. Starting with a couple of arbitration awards. Um, Samsonov is awarded a 1-year contract by the arbitrator at 3.55 million. So the Leafs don't get their 2.4 million. Samsonov doesn't get his 4.9 million, and it ends up right around the halfway mark. I don't understand because here's the thing. They've now gone through this process, which gets pretty heated and pretty hotly contested, and it can lead to a divorce between the player and the team. And they ended up with a cap hit that likely would have been agreed upon by both if they'd sat down and worked it out. So, anyways, we'll see how it works out. Kurashev has also been awarded a contract by the arbitrator at 2 years, $2.25 million per season. I've seen some Hawks fans upset about it, but I mean, it's not like the Hawks are anywhere near the cap this year, and next year the salary cap's going up, so 2.25 million for Kurashev. That seems reasonable to me. But at any rate, there you go. The first two arbitration cases have been settled. There might be more, and it's unusual to see that during the summer to see multiple arbitration cases at all, much less two, and then there could be more going on later. Erik Karlsson has confirmed that he has had discussions with certain teams, including the Leafs, the Penguins, the Hurricanes, and the Kraken. Honestly, of the four, Seattle kind of makes the most sense. Seattle has the cap space. They are able to take on a veteran, I would think, on that blue line. It might make the most sense for Seattle to be the landing spot for Erik Karlsson if he does get traded this summer. And again, I know the Penguins, the Hurricanes are seen as the front runners, but it would make some sense if he ended up in Seattle. It's dangerous for San Jose to trade him within the division, but I mean, if they can get the best deal from Seattle, that may be where he ends up. Let me know your guess on where Karlsson ends up, or if he's not going to end up anywhere. Jamel Smith, who's been struggling to make it to the NHL, had some promise a few years back, but just not getting much of an opportunity now. Has opted to sign in the KHL. He has signed a contract with Dynamo Minsk, so his NHL dream is done for now. We'll see if he comes back over at some point. But Jamel Smith ends up over in the KHL, and we'll see how things go for him there. Now, with a couple of arbitration cases decided, I figured, let's look ahead. There's no arbitration cases to be discussed until July the 30th because all the rest that were in between have already been decided, where the player and the team have sat down and worked out a contract before going through the arbitration process. So keep an eye on the following. Jack McBain with the Arizona Coyotes. I'd be very surprised if he ends up going through arbitration. Jeremy Swayman. So the Boston Bruins are really dealing with a cap crunch. And so my guess is that Swayman probably getting an offer from the Bruins that's not very high. I'm thinking in the $2 million range probably. And Swayman probably looking for a similar award to what Samsonov, sorry. But we'll see how things turn out for Swayman. And then 2 days later on August the 1st, Trent Frederick of the Boston Bruins is up. Frederick coming off of a career high in goals, I believe a career high in points as well. Had a really good season. He's going to want to get paid in that range. Boston will want to look at his career numbers and say, here's where we've seen him in his career, and we'd rather not give him X amount of money that he's looking for. And again, they're really up against it cap-wise, so both Frederick and Swayman, it's important that they keep the players. I just don't know how they don't end up over the cap when they do it. I think they've got $2.5 million in cap space altogether. Swayman's going to eat that up. And then you have Frederick there, and it does get dicey quickly. On August the 2nd, it's Troy Terry of the Anaheim Ducks. Of course, they still have Zegras to sign as well. I think they should get both done. Get them both done the same day. Have a press conference. Have them both sit there and go, yep, we're staying Ducks for the next 7-8 years. I think that with Troy Terry going through this arbitration process again, I think it's more important for the Ducks to sit down and figure out a long-term extension rather than go through this process because it can get ugly. August the 4th, there are still 4 players listed for August the 4th, the final date of arbitration. Ryan McLeod for the Edmonton Oilers. I like McLeod. I hope he gets his money. Philip Gustafson of the Minnesota Wild, who is, one of the better young goaltenders in the NHL right now, coming off of a fantastic season with Minnesota. But Minnesota's up against a cap crunch too, same as the Edmonton Oilers, right? The Rangers, Brandon Scanlon. So if you're asking yourself, who? I did that too. Defenseman played for the Hartford Wolfpack this past season, 61 games, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points. The downside of his contract in the AHL, he was making $80,000. My guess is he wants something where the downside is a little bit more than $80,000 in a season. I don't think he's going to end up coming up and playing for the New York Rangers this season. I believe he's 23, 24 years of age, so yeah, we'll see how it turns out for Scanlon. And then there's Drew O'Connor for the Pittsburgh Penguins as well to round things out. It will be interesting to see which of these guys end up actually going to arbitration. If I had to guess which ones get resolved first, I don't think McBain should end up in arbitration. Terry, they've got to work out a long-term deal with him. And O'Connor, Scanlon, seriously, Rangers, give him a better downside on his contract. He'll sign. And McLeod, that shouldn't be an arbitration either. Swayman, Swayman, Frederick, Gustafson, those ones could be really dicey because of the cap space that Boston and Minnesota do not have. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.